It's time for Maggie and the Moms. Sponsored by Tampa General Hospital.
Well, welcome everyone. We are coming to you from our Schnazzy Stream Center. If you are watching us, you can see the amazing improvements that we have made. And if you're just listening, hopefully the audio will sound crisp and clear. It is so good to be back with you. An important topic today, pediatricians sounding the alarm, saying knock it off to parents who are unwittingly doing things that are unsafe, unhealthy, and unwise when it comes to their children. Our authority on the topic today, Jennifer Boyd, the founder of House Calls for Kids, a pediatric practice that is concierge. Ooh la la, super fancy. But it's like the olden days when the doctor comes to you.
Exactly.
I
nice
like
personal house calls.
Thank you for being here, Bree Gorecki here as well.
Hi.
She is mom to a 10-year-old son, and she is a contributor for Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine, as am I. It's so good to have you here, as well as Miss Deanna Moore.
Oh, I guess I should pop myself up.
There you are.
Hello.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi.
Deanna is the executive producer for Daytime, which is the lifestyle show that I host here at WFLA in Tampa, where Maggie and the Moms was born. And we're so happy to be back here in the Stream Center. We had a little bit of a hiatus while they did all this schnazzy stuff to it. I like it. I love it.
No, it looks great.
So good.
Look
Very
at the
comfortable.
lighting. I love that. It's my favorite part, I think.
Yeah.
It's like the yellows and the blues complement each other.
Yes, and we have to shout out to JB Buno and Garrett Phillips for all their hard work. I mean, they nailed it.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. All right, ladies, we're going to get cracking on this topic. So for today, I asked Jennifer to send me a list of things that parents do that drive pediatricians crazy. And when she sent me the list, it was several pages long.
Very thorough.
So that's one of the things I thought that Jennifer, I can always count on her to deliver what I asked for. But also I thought, OMG, we are doing this much wrong. I didn't like the length of the list, I will say.
I know. I try to cover all the bases here.
Okay, well, that's a good thing because we want this to be there to be a takeaway today, not only for parents of babies, but parents of school-age children, parents of teens. So we're going to run the gamut when it comes to don'ts. Pediatricians say, stop doing this, parents. Number one, let's start with the baby list. So I did this many times. I don't know if it's a New York thing or an all over the country thing, but every time we went to restaurants when my son was a baby, we would leave the stroller in like the foyer or wherever. We would take the car seat into the restaurant, and then the waiter would turn over one of their wooden high chairs, and we would prop the car seat on there. And the first thing on Jennifer's list of don'ts was that. Why?
It is just so unsafe. It's like one of those things that you see and you're like, oh my goodness, let's rescue the baby. But the thing is that the people around you are not aware or worried about your child in this car seat on this thing that it's not supposed to be on. Okay. So it's wobbly, it's unsafe, one little bump by a busy waiter and it's going to go crashing down.
That's crazy because that's something that I've actually seen on like those mom hacks articles and pages. Like, oh, here's a hack for, going to a restaurant and
never listen to those, by the way. Listen to the pediatricians. And listen to the car seat lady. She's somebody that I found online, and she did a whole write-up about this. And she said, she's an MD, and she said that 10,000 kids every year in this country go to the ER with head injuries that are a direct result of falling from a car seat. That's shocking.
Yeah.
That is.
And that goes along with that. Okay, where we're putting it, it's not safe, or is the baby buckled into the car seat itself? So sometimes we were like, oh, let me just unbuckle you so you're more comfortable. Well, then you accidentally tip the stroller or you trip getting out of the car and the baby goes tumbling out.
Oh my goodness. So two don't so far. Yeah. Don't do the high chair car seat thing. Make sure your babies are buckled. What about, when your baby is sound asleep in the car seat and you're like, oh, my baby's sleeping so cozily and he's buckled up, so I'm just going to leave him in the car seat to sleep. Is that a no-no?
Definitely a no-no. And it's so hard because sleep is so important. We don't ever want to wreck the nap. I mean, no, that's so stressful. So I just say be mindful of the angle of the car seat because they tend to rock forward because they're heavier in their bottoms. And so the angle with the head and the neck bent down and the chest clasping too high can lead to suffocation.
And I think that's such a common one. I mean, we were kind of guilty of that and, totally harmless. It was always supervised. But, when they sleep, that's precious time. So you want to keep them that way. And you think, oh, it's a car seat. It's safe. It's a safe place for them. So
I definitely did it too.
Yeah, I think most parents, that's just natural.
And I have a friend who had a horror story. They put the baby up on the counter after driving around the neighborhood to get her to sleep. And she started to turn blue after about 10 minutes of being in the car seat. And he panicked, but he just adjusted her head. But it's exactly what you said. Her head was tilted in such a way that it was being constricted. She couldn't breathe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
It
don't
happens.
leave them in the
Risk.
car seat ever unsupervised is
Correct.
what I'm taking away
Yeah.
from that. All right, let's look at Jennifer's super long list and go to the next one. Okay, never ever let siblings push the stroller. I don't get why if you're there.
Okay, never let siblings push the stroller, young ones, if you don't have a hand on there to help them control it, right? There's cobblestones and uneven sidewalks and curbs that pop up.
If you put it that way.
Yeah.
Tilt and rock over, and then the next thing you know, again, baby's tumbled out.
All right, I get that one. Here's one though that I did all the time when my children were babies. Please tell me, well, no, don't tell me that you didn't, because then you'd be right. But I hope I'm not the only one. I would hang my diaper bag on the stroller.
Oh, all the
handles.
time.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
That's where
you
it
already have
lived.
enough stuff to carry. So,
No,
You know.
Deanna's thinking about. Is that wrong?
I did it too. you
Okay.
know? So I'm going to admit it. But, you got to be mindful of the weight of that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's also going to, again, tilt the stroller backwards if it's too heavy, or if the baby, it doesn't equal out, then it's a risk.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't they make these little hooks?
yeah, I remember
So
I
that
had
you-
some
yeah.
special
You
hook.
like put the bag on. So like they're inviting you to do that.
But then
It's
you're
a known
shopping,
thing.
you add an extra bag.
Oh, that's where you
You
go wrong.
know?
The weight, then the
You
balance.
got to keep it balanced.
But what about the under? That's what I did. I use a little underneath thing. Is
Smart.
that okay?
That's totally,
Oh, okay.
yes.
All right. Next. Don't trust that the baby can't go anywhere yet on elevated surfaces. Oh my gosh. So many stories I have heard about that one.
I know. And it's, imagine, I don't know if you guys had bouncers where it's like on an angle and baby's kind of bouncing around happy. Great. But if you don't have them buckled in, which sometimes when they're so little, people think, oh, they don't roll
They can't
yet.
move. Yeah, they don't roll.
Right? They're just going to sit there. Next thing you know, they've wiggled and shifted and they fall out. So
Changing table always had me paranoid.
Oh my gosh.
Like you grab the diaper, but you got one hand on the baby, and don't move. Don't move.
that's the best way to do it, right? Keep a hand on the baby. And it's always that first roll. It's like they've never rolled over before
That's
until
right.
this one moment when
That's
now
right.
they've fallen off.
And think about it. This is your baby. Like, because you might be tempted to go, just for a split second, I'm going to go grab the wipes over there. No, a split second is is when bad stuff happens,
Yeah.
right? And in so many scenarios.
And I wouldn't trust the straps, the little buckle.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Just don't, just be safe. Just pick up the baby for a second, reset, get what you need, or make sure you have it before you lay the baby down.
All right, let's move on to when they're a little bit older and you think that they're ready to ride in the front seat.
Yeah.
Don't ride in the front seat too soon. What is too soon?
I would say younger than 13.
Whoa, sorry. That
So
was my
we're
phone.
going through this
Took a
now because my
Yeah.
son he's 10, he's almost 11. And, he is tall for his age. So, he's almost 4'11", so he's a tall kid. And, we have this battle all the time of, oh, well, so-and-so sits in the front seat. So why can't I sit in the front seat? And if we're going from like neighborhood to neighborhood, I'll let him. But, then I tell him like, get in that back seat. And he always complains. And, my husband is like, well, he's tall enough, and I'm like, but he's still so young, and there's the weight limit too. He's
Right.
tall, but he's also kind of skinny.
Oh,
so,
parallel lives. I've got the same thing going on because my daughter, she's tall for her age. She's 10, but she's 5'1". And I tell her like, no, 13.
Yeah.
But then we had a little adventure over spring break where we had too many kids in the car.
Oh,
And
yes.
so she was like, so what do you do now? The challenging eyebrow.
That's
And I was
when you
like,
make exceptions as a parent. we all do
yeah,
it.
you can go in the front
we
seat,
all
but then
do
the
it.
whole time I was like giving her that arm,
Yep.
because
Yes.
what am I
Well,
doing?
because when we were kids, I remember my sister's car seat being in the front seat.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was 30 something
any
years
sentence,
ago.
Bree, that
Ooh,
starts with when
80s.
we were kids.
Probably wasn't
whatever
right.
that was, don't do it now
was
because
wrong.
we did not wear seatbelts.
Yeah, and they also
I know.
smoked and all the
And,
things.
yeah.
Sat in the back of the
Sat
station
in the
wagon.
back. Oh my
In the
gosh,
way- in the
remember
way
that?
back.
Oh yeah, that was a
In the
luxury.
way back.
Oh, I loved it.
And that was fun, and that was
Yeah.
okay. Not now. We've gotten smarter, and that's the point.
I would say, opposed to the height, think about weight,
Yeah.
because they're
Right.
just not heavy enough. We want in the event of an accident, that they are safe and restrained, that their bodies can handle the impact of an airbag being deployed, all the things that could go wrong. So,
and listen, as a parent, remember in everything that your job is to stay strong when they're fighting you. Because they want it so bad and they try to convince you, and man, they are good.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember when my kid was like, I am not a baby. Stop it with this booster. I don't need the booster. I'm fine. What is your advice regarding booster seats?
And I think one of the things we run into is the kid field trips, because other parents are carting them around and who brought the booster and who doesn't have a booster seat, or the parents don't bring them. It's all about look at the heights, look at the weight of the child, and just do what's safe. Eventually they'll get into the routine and know you're not budging.
And stay strong.
Parents,
Just
just
I'm
stay
tired
strong.
of having to fight with the fact that other parents aren't doing the right thing, and then your kid sees that. So
I know.
Seeing kids in the front seat all the time, and it's bothersome. But I horror story my kid. I'm like that
I love that strategy.
airbag is going to punch you in your face.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy you brought that
gonna
up,
use
because
that next
how many
time.
airbag injuries did you see?
Oh, tons. I mean, burns on their faces or on their
horrible.
arms. And then you've got glass from the windshield. It's just safer with that seat in front of them, right? Like when they're in the middle row, they have one extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's move on to trampolines. I don't know. I feel I've never been a fan. I've never had one in my house. All the cool kids, all the best houses that they want to go over, the kids have the trampolines. Are they as bad as I think they are?
Yeah, they're terrible. And
They're
the older
terrible.
they get, the kids are crazy. My son is one of them. I mean, flips and twists.
the
And how many
stunts.
twisty flips can I do in a row?
But what about the ones that have the net? Those are okay. Or no?
I mean,
I'm
lesser
not
of
going to
two
get
evils.
one. Okay, lesser of two evils.
So my son broke his toe doing flips on a netted trampoline. You know, the injuries can still happen. They can still break their elbow. They can still, it can happen whether there's a net or not. So I think more than the net protection is a layer of parent protection. So if they are unsupervised jumping on this trampoline at so-and-so's house, you don't know what they're going to get into.
Exactly
5 of
right.
them in there.
That's
colliding.
the thing, too, because they never go by themselves. There's always more than one kid in there.
No one's waiting in line
Yeah.
at
And
these
And they all
houses.
topple on top of each other.
And what about the poor innocent baby brother or sister who gets in there with a bunch of crazies jumping around?
My
And-
See,
sister-in-law
you can just
broke
see
her
it
tooth on the
happening.
top of Ryan's head.
Oh, no.
So the tooth stuck here in his head. So I got all the horror stories.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
It just
All right.
happens.
Next one. Oh yeah, this is a big one. This is another one, Bree, that we didn't do when we were kids. We never wore helmets.
No.
Riding a
I
bike
know.
I
or
never
a skateboard.
wore a helmet. And you know what? I broke my nose when I was 10 because I stepped on a skateboard. And it was my neighbor's brother. We thought we were cool. We were stealing it. I was in my driveway. I stepped on it to start riding it. Boom, smashed right on the driveway, smashed my nose.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
sounds
but it,
so
guess
painful.
what? I went back on the bike and the skateboard again without a helmet. That's just
the
what we
thing.
did. But
Some-
now,
okay,
you know.
sometimes we think we turned out okay, even though we didn't do blank. Where is that way of thinking dangerous, Jennifer? And where is it warranted? How do you know?
I think it's one of those things where you have to let them have the space to do dangerous things safely. Okay. We're going to let them try to climb or let them try to do the monkey bars, but maybe you're watching that they're doing it safely and you're there as a safety net if they need you. Helmets are one of those things that a devastating head injury is life altering, right? So, and it's not necessarily about the kid not knowing how to ride the bike safely. It's about the cars around them. It's about the other kids, about faulty bike chains. You never know, but it could change the trajectory of their whole life. So again, it's just one of those things where it's like habits. Start the habit. Hey,
Start
grab that
the
helmet,
habit.
and then they get used to
They
it.
think
don't-
it's normal. It's
Yeah.
all that they know. And same for skateboards and bikes.
Oh, and the scooters, the electric
And
scooters
scooters.
are
Oh my
really
gosh.
big
Yeah.
right
the
now.
electric bikes and scooters,
Yeah.
like next level parent fear. I mean, we
Yep.
have one for my son, and it's terrifying because it's going they go so fast.
They do.
now.
I think I'm more concerned about him wearing the helmet on the scooter, and he's really good about, wearing a helmet. But it's funny because we did have an instance the other day where he went out on with a friend. They were going to the park, and I noticed that he was riding off without his helmet, and he just forgot. He's usually really good about it. And part of me wanted to call to him and be like, hey, put your helmet on. And I'm like, no, I'll let him go. And I felt such mom guilt the entire time he was gone. And he came back, we talked about it. I said, you need to wear your helmet. He's like, I know, but I'm safe. And I said, I know you're safe. But what if a car comes out of nowhere? What if another biker comes and you don't move over in time and you get knocked over? So it's stuff like that you think about. And
another stay strong, parents. They hate you. They're gonna hate you a lot. Is what I've come to realize.
I think if you let them pick the helmet, maybe that might help.
That's always
and then
a
if you let
great
them trick it out, like I bought
a great thing.
For Christmas a little mini Vespa for my 10-year-old, which is my worst nightmare. But she looks so cute and funny, like a little motorcycle gang. But I said you got to wear the helmet. And she does it.
There you go.
I think it also helps one of the moms in my son's circle of friends, and again, he's 12, created a text message stream of the moms for the boys that hang out together as a place to kind of like drop tidbits. If they hear stuff at their house that's going on, or
that's a good idea.
let's share if there's something that we hear when they're at our house. It's another thing to say, hey, can you encourage your kid? Like, let's all encourage them to wear helmets together. Like if they're all doing it, then they're going to feel less pressure not to.
Right. Okay, now what about they have their helmet on, but they have those stinking AirPods in their ear, and they're listening to music and they can't hear their surroundings. That's got to be a no-no.
Oh yeah, because you can't hear a car coming or honking at you. So one workaround, get them a little speaker that they can clip onto their bike.
Oh yeah, those are popular now.
So they can listen to their music while they're riding, but they can also hear what's going around them.
All right, very good. Next one. No sleeping with phone under the pillow. Why?
Who does it? Do you do it?
I don't.
know. It stays on the charger.
But,
you guys are the best.
But now I've taken
my phone in the bedroom.
Now we've taken the phone out of our son's bedroom, so I know that he doesn't do it. But I don't know that he didn't do it when he had it in there. Why is it bad?
Well, nowadays they barely even go completely black. They're always a little bit lit. So there's the distraction of the light that's going to keep you awake. And honestly, the mental distraction, right? Your mind's like, oh, it's right there. Did I hear it vibrate? Let me just check it real quick. So it kind of prevents you from shutting down to go to bed properly. There's radiation emitted from it too. There are rays that are not good for us, that we shouldn't have it that close to our heads. And then they heat up. So depending on the phone or the device, if the battery's going bad or something, it gets too hot. It
Fire
could
hazard.
be a fire hazard.
And you're asleep. So. Yeah. All right. What about, oh my gosh, this one got like my palpitations, really. TikTok challenges, TikTok challenge culture is, we could have a whole podcast about that.
I know.
These TikTok challenges, okay, how bad are they for children?
Oh my gosh. There's, when I went to write that down and then I looked up the latest ones.
Yes.
It's so scary because it's inevitably something that is incredibly harmful. Like, let's see, take a bunch of Benadryl because you can hallucinate when you take too many. That's a TikTok challenge. And it can also kill you. They do, because they don't know the extreme side effects of them. But it's the pressures that you would get on a one-on-one with your small group is now magnified by hundreds of millions of people, right?
I never thought of it that way.
So it's just, it's trending, and 500 million people have liked this or seen this. There's like, they can't be that bad.
Yeah, and the kids see it online and they think, oh, well, all these people have done it and they're fine, so everything's okay. And, they're like, I'll be fine too, and it's just, they're just so influenced, and it's hard to tell them no when they're like, well, you're one person telling me no, but,
how do
5,000 people saying yes.
In our last minutes here, how do you combat that? Because they don't want to listen to you.
Well,
they think you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm also like you. A worst case scenario, I share horror stories all the time. Yeah, I will tell them this is what can happen if you do this, so that they can understand a reality behind it. And also maybe being mindful of what's going on. Just Google it. What are the latest TikTok challenges that So if you hear them talking about something, that it's not secret from you.
You know what my son says to me these days? He goes, Mom, it's not the 90s anymore. I'm like, child.
Oh wow.
You're right. It's worse. It's worse than the
way
90s.
worse anymore. I'm like, oh my goodness.
So stay on top of TikTok challenges. And it's not only about physical health. I mean, so many mental health concerns where that dang phone is concerned.
I know.
You were saying something earlier today about the emojis. they could seem super harmless, but they could mean all sorts of things. So we as parents have to stay educated on everything that they're in.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, and yes, it is not the 90s anymore. We didn't have to deal with this, but we still need to bring ourselves up to, today's time. What are kids doing? Be in the know, because it is scary. There's so much out there that we just don't realize is going on. So just educate yourself, be up on the social media trends, and it might not be fun, but it'll help you get better insight. I think
it changes every day. It's almost impossible. So I think that the most important thing is just to start them early. Yeah. If you have little kids, start them early make sure that they don't have develop a screen time addiction from the time they're little. You want to soothe that toddler with a tablet at a restaurant. But think about it. They could easily become addicted to that. Yeah. And if you don't believe me, when you take away that tablet, do they throw a tantrum? If the answer is yes, there's your answer.
Yeah.
I think we need to do a deep dive into this because
we do.
This
is another episode.
I come from I'm not on social media that much. So you're forcing me to go on social media because my child wants to be on social media. And I don't know how to work it. And I'm not savvy. And I don't know how to do the deep dives.
And they're going to outsmart you.
Absolutely.
They know more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to come to you for all the gory things. I'm like, I need gory pictures of head injuries.
Yes.
I need the STI gory pictures when I start talking about the talk. Like, give me all the gory. So I can, I'm a scared straight kind of a parent.
I like it.
It's
Whatever
not a bad
it takes.
technique,
Sometimes you
right?
have to. Reality. That's the reality of doing the TikTok challenge. This is what could happen to you.
That's right, because you can't sugarcoat things.
No.
That's our motto here at Maggie and the Moms. We celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. And I thank you, Jennifer, for that super long list. You didn't sugarcoat it.
Nope, didn't. Bringing it straight.
Yeah.
And there are a lot more that we can talk about, and we'll keep you coming back for all things health. Thank you.
That sounds great.
Thank you
so
Bree.
much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Deanna. You did a great job with the bells and whistles over there.
There's lots of bells and whistles.
I know.
So scary.
I know.
See, I just said I don't like technology, and then here, hold on, look at viewers, look at this, look at what we have to deal with.
Wow. Well, we hope that you'll keep coming back to Maggie and the Moms, where we celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. See you next time.
Bye.
All right.